So, Siddharth, can you come up on the camera with your ID proof? Yeah. Can you show me your ID proof as well?
Hello.
ID proof.
Yeah, sure. Just a sec.
Can you just keep it aside by your face so that your face is also visible? Just, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Siddharth.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
just ask Yognesh to join the call.
Okay.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi, Agnish. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm also doing good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. So, can you let me know about your experience and other things?
All right. So I'm Siddharth, and total technological experience I carry of over now 8 years of experience. Majority of my expertise into front end, but I can manage both the worlds. And currently pursuing a designation of full stack hybrid app developer. Majority of my experience, let's say almost 6 years, I have worked within Dubai, with automotive industries, ERP corporate applications, both on Angular and React platforms, as well as Ionic and Flutter and React Native, all those things. As a side note, I have also worked with databases like Oracle or MongoDB, all those things. And side by side, also carrying out some habitual stuff related to YouTube channel, which is based on technical. And this year only, in the earlys of January, due to this recession period, I got laid off from the current company, and from that time I'm just doing some contractual works and also teaching newly BTech and MTech candidates about technology certifications, all those things. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, overall, you work as a full stack developer, or like as you said, like you work on the back end and other
Actually,
things?
my expertise in front end, all the user interface designing, development, understanding all the trending JavaScript frameworks, CSR, SSR rendering, all those things. But from the past 5 years, I've also worked with formation and development of REST APIs over Python, with Fast API or Flask RESTful, alongside some Express Node.js work as well, with GraphQL also. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. So, can you just explain me like some of the works you have completed with Angular?
Pardon?
Some of the works you have completed with front-end text like
Okay,
Angular.
okay. So actually, while I was in a rental software development company, their entire ERP corporate application was based on the development of Angular. It started with Angular version 9, and all the way till Angular version 14, we have worked upon it. The entire development was based like there was a grid. The entire user interface was depending upon PrimeNG alongside Angular material, with our own custom theming applied to it, with dynamic grid rendering alongside. All the grids do have advanced search, CRUD operations, different CRUD operations were there. The API were dependent upon purely REST API microservices with Python. or there was another some modules which were depending upon GraphQL for their data fetching techniques and all those things. Alongside, the entire Angular application was also encapsulated into Electron for providing the desktop-based solution for the product to be released into the Middle Eastern markets. So how Electron is integrated with Angular, that was also being seen there. Alongside the entire, there was also another application which was used for vehicle booking. Let's say you are a tourist and you are traveling to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, somewhere there, and from the airport you want to book a car for around 1 month, you want to rent it. So all those kind of activities could also be performed via hybrid application, which was in bundled with Ionic and Angular. And these were the two major projects which I covered within 5 to 6 years of my journey with that company. Alongside, in the second company, we have a banking related application where auto payment and all those facilities were there with payment integration. That was also being developed on Angular version 9 or 10, I don't remember correctly. Alongside, Ionic was also on the go with that application. Alongside, as per my own projects, like the one where I'm doing the contractual work currently, there they want to develop a particular education development. Like you have seen the Udemy platform, the same they are going to develop with some added functionalities. That thing is being developed upon the latest Angular version 16, where the signals and all those new concepts are also being taken care of with standalone components. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. So can you just share your screen for once?
Sure. 1 second. All right.
Okay. Can you open any online JavaScript compiler which you find?
That's fine, but if you want, I can open my own development workspace that suits me well.
I would be fine. No worries. You can open a VS Code also. That no.
Yeah,
If you're comfortable with it.
yeah, because again, things are pretty much, I've already settled for past 2 years, few years, all the extensions required.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you may go. Yes.
Yeah, just a second. Can you just write down a program for this part?
Actually, if you don't mind, can you give me any exercise which is related to corporate world?
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah, because this palindrome, printing the stars from reverse order and all those things are a little bit of a college kind of thing. So if you could
Not
directly
that
give me
big.
something in
Just
corporate
check
world,
this
yeah,
out.
example, yeah,
Sometimes you can check it for logic or understanding in
no problem. In corporate world also we can check logics.
Sure.
Because I also want this interview to be set as an example for my YouTube channel. Okay, so that's why I need something a bit of experienced question so that my viewers can also learn from it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay then, let's assume it this way. we have a list. Okay, then we can open an online code editor. That would be better for Angular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open a sandbox for that. Let me know once you're ready.
Yeah. You can now.
Okay. So I'm at giving you one API here. Let's fake API only. So from here, can you just create an application where we can have a list and I can see the details. If I click on that, I can see the details of that section, the
Yeah.
product.
Sure. No problem.
Yeah.
I hope you can see my screen till now.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, then it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Yes. So if I click on any of them,
Okay.
how do we redirect it, like as a detail page or something in that way?
Okay.
Yep.
Now it depends. Suppose, let's say, are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. See, now basically what happens in this type of application is like, if you wanna fetch some random one product detail. Okay, let's say you have a list of products, and if you click on this, what my strategy would be, either this handler function could get the entire product, or you can just transfer the ID of that product, and from here I can construct some sort of my own product URL, let's say products /1. And now this one, let's say I'm getting the product ID 1 and I want just the data of 1. Let's see over here, if we do 1 over here, we are getting this data, right? So what you can do is okay, const prepared URL is equal to just like this, where we can then remove these things, and using the dynamic string interpolation we can just raise the ID over here, and let's check what we get from here. And I think what we can do is URL, and I can make this as a string, and I can check if URL then URL, otherwise API. Okay, so just like this everything works, and this thing can be reused now, where I can do this .get products like this, and the prepared URL can lead over here. Let's store it in per product detail like this, and first of all we'll check if the call was success. So for just now I can just check in console log if this is working. Console log in this, where is console? Do you know where is console in this thing?
Yes. There is a button, right? About not there. Just after the URL in the second. Post के बाद में. No, sorry.
Not
Just a sec.
yeah,
No. Yeah, you can open here also, but
right click.
yeah, I got your point. No worries with that.
Okay, that means again one
Yeah.
async variable will be prepared, and then it depends. It totally depends how the structure is laid for the project. Either you have some routing components, a dynamic component which will accept the data and then will render it accordingly, or there can be different ways, either a common component, either using the services, either using this operation only, either using different rendering options, like we can hide this entire list and then just show the detail, and there can be a back button which will reset the user interface, and then again the list will be rendered. So different procedures are there how you can do that thing. That depends on what is the demand of the product. Yeah.
Understand. Alright then. Yeah. So let's start on some questions regarding these only. So first thing what I observe is you added like on init as public. So is it required to
Where?
make it public? All methods you made all the methods as public, right? Line
Okay.
number 33
Yeah.
on init as public and get products as public
Yeah.
and handle as public. So
Yeah.
is it required to be public?
The methods which you totally want to get accessed from either outside of this class, or let's say if this class is a subclass and is being utilized via view child or view children, or let's say you want this method to be accessible in your partnered HTML file, then surely you need to make that function as a public. But if that function is only being utilized within this enclosing curly brackets, then surely you can make it as a private property. For example, this is the get product function, which can totally be converted into a private thing. and let this ng on init behind the scenes is used by the Angular. That's why if this should be a public one, as per I have read into Angular docs.
So if I see correctly, right?
Yeah.
What you said, like if I have to use this function in HTML, I will have to make it public. Correct?
This one, if I'm using this handle chosen product,
Or
this one.
get products, both
Yeah.
of them, right?
Yeah.
So without that also we can do that, right? If I remove public, it will not affect anything.
No, by default it will be treated as public only.
Yeah, means you are explicitly writing it. That's why I just asked.
That's my practice, because again I told you, like whatever recommendation and things Angular or let's say TypeScript tells you, I follow that. It makes a better understanding. Let's say if a candidate directly from BTech or MTech is coming and coding for the first time, he should totally understand, okay, this is the thing. Otherwise there are so many shortcuts what I can apply in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. Can you explain me what will be the life cycle of this Angular site or Angular as in general?
All right. So actually, all these modern frameworks which supports this CSR or SSR, nothing matters. But all the components now do cover some life cycle hooks. That means originally the component will be entering into its a viewable phase and occasionally will get destroyed. So as soon as this component is being created with the help of this selector, okay, so as soon as in the HTML you use something like for example, I'm having some component like app to do like this, okay, and as soon as you evoke this thing, the lifecycle hook begins, okay. So occasionally you start with something will be there where you first of all initialize this initialization phase starts of this component, and then if there are any changes affecting into your application, then it gets covered, or I should write it. First of all, the component is being initialized. After initialize, if you have something, let's say some
Just speak on that. No need for writing. You can just give the line. What will be the life cycle hooks that will be called when I refresh a page from and to close the page in there.
all right,
Just
so if you are closing the component, let's say if you are closing the page or your component is being inside ngif and it's being taken out of your document flow and being inserted again, then two main hooks will be affected every time. That's the on init and on destroy. And once on init has done everything, and if you want to do something once your component is being totally initialized, that's being covered under ng after view init. If there is some changes you're referring in your component, if you have some changes which you don't totally want to check on regular basis, then there is do changes. And if there is some particular strict action which you want to check some basic condition, then it will be do check, ng do check. And yeah.
Okay, sure. Just a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
May I drink water?
So, sorry.
May I drink water?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, please.
All right. Yeah. So we were with the second, and after that, all right. With respect to Angular, right? Can you tell me like what will be the just a second. How can we implement the lazy loading in Angular?
All right. So suppose in Angular, first of all, lazy loading is required when you want to lazy load your entire module, and only when your URL is being hit for that particular thing, only then Angular engine request for that entire module to get loaded into the browser, and then your things goes on working in your application. So if you want to implement that thing, so basically in your routing file, whatever your routing module file you create, there you have some configurations where you can set your routes based on the object syntax, where you need the path, you need your where that module is being there, you use the import strategy inside then, and by using the chaining, which is the promise, because that import function returns and promise, basically using the dot, then you try to import that module, and that is how you can lazy load that thing. With respect to if you want to apply some guards to it as well, or can load or can activate or can deactivate, that depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are guards? Means what is like a interceptor first? Let's see.
Yeah, interceptor is nothing but a concept which was introduced in Angular, and which is totally acceptable when you don't wanna every time modify your URL on ingoing and outgoing request, but it's a way of centralizing your entire API, where let's say if your application serves with a JWT tokenized structure, and you every time with your ongoing request you want to attach some tokens, some custom headers and all those things, or let's say if you're getting some response and you want to see that, okay, I'm getting 200 status code, I'm not getting any errors, 404 or 400 or 500, which are internal server error. So to deal all those things, interceptor is a way where each of your requests intercepted in between, be attached those custom let's say headers and all those things, and then your request is carried forward away, and when you get some response, it's again be intercepted, it's checked for let's say I'm checking for any status code, or I'm not getting any nullish value, all those things, and then being taken care of by the Angular engine. Yeah.
Oh. So when we work with Angular, right,
Yeah.
with interpreters and guards,
Mhm.
we also have like implement guards, right? What particular is purpose of the guards?
Can you please repeat your question?
Auth guards, right? We use auth guards.
Yeah, authentication guards. Yeah.
Yeah. What are? Why do we use them? What is its purpose?
Yeah, actually, authentication guard. What I have understand in my experience is that whenever there is authentication guard being implemented, that's occasional. That's every time where you will find that authentication guard before the user has been logged in. That means on the login page, actually to protect our application to not be accessed by unwanted user, or he is playing, or he or she is playing with the URL from the browser, trying to go inside the application, but authentication guard will check if that valid token is there, alongside what all bearer token and all the data expiration time and all those things are required. If that is not present, and if the local flag in the application, let's say, is user logged in, that is being truly to false, then the user is being redirected back to the login, giving a message, first of all you need to log in to get into the application. So basically it's a structure where you can protect your routes to be to get from the indirect access. First of all, user need to follow a proper structure, login, and then only he or she could utilize all the features in the app. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we work on Angular, right?
Mhm.
What's two-way binding with that?
Pardon?
What is two-way binding?
Two-way binding is nothing but in Angular or in any of the framework, there is a concept of binding, where your variable, whatever temporary variable where your data is being stored, or to manage some state of data, there is a way of communicating with your logic, with your view file. So the one way would be your entire data is being traveled to your HTML. Okay, another thing is two-way data binding in Angular would be possible using the forms module, where you get the benefit of using ng model, where whatever things are being rendered in real time into your that variable thing, if you pass that variable thing into your HTML using that ng model, the real time data you will be getting in your logic as well as in your view as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is like particularly what is directives?
Directives is nothing but what I can understand is in any HTML tag. Basically, if you see from a normal HTML perspective, basically you have used classes or ID or type in input fields. All those things were predetermined things. But in newer versions, in newer strategies of writing user interfaces, all of your HTML components can receive some directive where they can form some logic, or let's say they can accept some input, perform something, and then give the output to the user interface. Let's say if I want my all the list items to be red in color, I could prepare a directive for it, and based on those native elements, I could just utilize my entire logic using a renderer class or element reference, all those things. ng4 here is also a directive. Basically, ngif is also a directive in my opinion. And whatever things you use, property binding, or let's say ng model or property binding is there, or different things are there where you can accept the data, or you do something like this. All of these things are carried over in a directive manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is fine. What are different ways to pass data from one component to another?
There are different ways, truly depending upon different identities are there. One way would be totally when you can utilize the feature of services. Using the services, also you can give your application a treatment of subscriptions or subjects, where your entire state could be managed. Another would be if your component contains your child components. Child components can receive or can be managed by your parent component via view children. So that's another way how you can just inject your child component into your parent component, and then you can just update the values of your variable, or you can utilize the function if there is some setter function inside that thing. Another would be using the Angular's input output strategy of sharing the data behind the scenes. Another would be using the routing. You can pass the data with your routes as well. Lastly would be if your application uses a Redux pattern, then using the Redux toolkit, or let's say the NGRX, you can also share the data between your application using that store pattern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we pass the data by using services?
With services, also you can pass the data, because there's different way. That's what I told you. Subjects can be
What
one
will
of
be
the
the
way.
drawback if I pass data? Let's say I have two different pages that are totally unrelated to each other, and then I want to pass the data in between them. Let's say I complete one section, I make a change in one place, but that should reflect to other place.
Can
And
be done now.
both
Can
of
be
them
done,
are
brother.
totally related to
Can
each
be
other.
done.
Then how will you?
Services are one of the way where if you don't find any relationship between components, services are the way where you can on the go communicate with non-related components as well. It's just the way like you need to do from your dependent component, the component which is independent, that should do a injection into your service, and then those data can be provided to all the dependent components, no matter if they are sibling or not. They can receive the newly updated values via their subscription or AC subscriptions, but that really depends. The component who is interested to receive the data, they can surely get that data.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if we consider in that way, what will be the drawback in that particular situation? Let's say I'm making a route from one page to another, and I have to pass the data between that route. And that data cannot be passed in the URL.
No,
Okay.
brother. There is
This
two
is a
ways,
practical situation.
but there
Let
is
me
two
give
ways,
one
na?
practical situation.
Why do
Just
we
a second.
why do we use the weak method? This situation. If I've been technical lead in that project, then surely that route will contain that route contains nowadays in the new version of Angular. That route now also contains some special config where the entire that object could receive the data, and that is not transported in your URL. That's it. That
Yeah,
entire
that's
communication
fine.
behind the
That's
scene.
fine.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, see that this is the example. What I'm giving you is a situation that we faced in an application. Okay. Now there is a drawback of this situation. What you said correctly. We did pass the same thing. We passed in the routing as a data only. But there is a drawback of this condition. Do you know what drawback is that?
See, you can surely share that thing with me, but occasionally with the URL thing, it's the most rarest thing what we have seen if we are seeing anything in the URL pattern. Everything was behind the scenes, so it can happen that I'm not getting your point.
What I am saying here is,
Mm-hmm.
where let's consider this particular scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I have one particular page, and on click on that, I have to do one create one. I'll go to a create page. Let's consider this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but that create page has to have some data from the main page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that main page where we had to pass via routing.
Mm-hmm.
So means we had two ways to do that. Okay, one is with routing and the other one is with service.
Hmm.
So they both of them, both the ways we did that. There was no issue as such.
Hmm.
But there is one particular drawback here. Like there is one issue. What in one particular condition it will cause an issue. So I'm just asking you, the one which you said is correct. Like we can pass in data, but that particular thing has one issue. So do you know that like what issue it will come across?
Maybe some kind of special symbol will cause the issue. At that time we need to use the URL encoding and then encode that data. What I have seen is some special character will cause a issue in while passing the data, because everything in the URL is string. Okay, there is nothing like array or object you can pass it into it. Everything is being converted into a string and then passed along. But right now I don't remember as such.
Okay. The
Yeah.
main issue is like whenever you pass anything in route data,
Mm-hmm.
okay, route data, not in the route, like as a
Mm-hmm.
parameter or not in that way. The main issue is whenever you refresh that page,
Mm-hmm.
all the data that you had passed will be destroyed.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So whatever you want to work will not work at all.
Mm-hmm.
You got that point here?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was the issue that we were faced. I just wanted to let you know, like this is a different way when we pass that, but it causes an issue at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now let's go to the backend part. You have worked with Node.js, right?
Yeah, means kind of in different scenarios, but not a masterate into that thing. But I think the profile was
Okay,
only for
so
Angular,
you are
right?
primarily a front-end developer, but you have worked with backend, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, Node.js means using the normal entire structure of Express and all those things, or let's say with the Node.js building application on Electron, all those things means Node.js is somewhere as a dependency for what I have used. Node.js is not like a full-fledged backend I have prepared on it. The full-fledged knowledge is available on for me will be available on Python. Python with
Okay.
any of the backend framework. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just now let's come a bit off topic here. Let's try that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of channel you run in YouTube?
It's tech related. There are different courses being taught, different solving questions for, let's say, some IT people. That things is also covered. Then gaming live streams are there. Then tech unboxing is there. So all those kind of activities are there.
Okay, that's great. So how long have you been doing this?
This is being from the time of, I guess, 2022's beginning, because from 2021 onwards I was also collaborating with Udemy, Coding Ninjas and Groovy platform to build technical courses for them. I have recorded many courses for them as well. So courses
Oh,
in Next.js, React, Angular, Vue, Ionic, Electron, Next.js, and then Python, Django is there. Then Flask is there. Oracle database is there. The beginners level, and then few of the Q&A courses are there for JavaScript, TypeScript. jQuery is there. Tailwind and Bootstrap is there. So
which
all those kind of
language
stuff.
intrigues you the most?
Pardon?
Which language intrigues you the most? Like there are lots and lots of languages,
I
right? You
love
work
I
with.
love all the languages, because from past 6 months I've also taught among 20 to 25 of the candidates who have successfully took the certification from us also. So actually,
in terms of that,
yeah.
what I mean is like my personal preferences. Like I work on front end. I love to that. That is fine. But basically, I am a full stack dev. So I also work on the back end. And since my college days, I have been working with .NET. So C
.NET, C
Sharp is
Sharp.
something I would say is my favorite language.
Okay.
And after that, Angular. Yeah, in the front end, Angular, back end C Sharp. So that way. So just a general question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
What would be what?
In the front end world, actually TypeScript will be my topmost priority. Anything
Hmm.
regarding the TypeScript, let it be solid.js or any framework, I'm totally comfortable with. And in the backend part, Python is the go for me, because in backend 2017 and 2018 I was certified as a Python developer from Dubai Education Council. So for backend, surely we'll be choosing Python, because I know what all advantages it brings over the TypeScript or Node.js based backend. Python is purely designed for doing all those stuff, because our previous application where I was a part of, that truly required some of the chatbot kind of functionalities, AI functionalities for auto payment and all those things, and which were truly being able to be provided by Python team. So Python will be a go for me for backend at present in 2023. I don't know, because side by side I am also learning Rust language, because I have seen that it's performing well in performance perspective, and we never know when the trend change, because nowadays this 10 years was a great approach for CSR programming, but now companies I have seen evolving in the world of SSR and SSG as well. So my personal thing is like I never stick to one language, because that brings you to a comfort zone. So I try to settle myself in different technological stack or world as well. Just the one thing
Yeah, that's
what
fine.
I don't like
I
to use is
guess
Java. Yeah,
I too don't like. That's
because
we agree.
see
But
see while teaching somebody some technology, what I have seen in India, each and every college, let it be a 10 lakh college or only 10,000 college, 10,000 rupees college, all of them have taught the students only three things: C++ and Java are going to change your world. And that's not absolutely correct. What the thing is, it's like in which region you live and for what company you are targeting, that technology you should focus on. Your personal favorite tech,
that's
yeah,
totally
the personal,
that I agree.
yeah. So
And
that's
this
why I've been from the past 2 years I've been changing my surroundings, candidates mindset, because colleges 3 to 4 years of your graduation, they will keep focusing you not on the front end thing, but they will directly teach you the C and C++. But C and C++ directly takes on the first page the function, what is main function. But if you learn Python or JavaScript, then you start with variable and then later you come with, okay, what is the function. But so I don't like the strategy how colleges are teaching all those things. So that's why the major go for the freshers would be either to choose between Python or JavaScript for learning it for the first time. Because again, if you choose Dart language or Rust language or Ruby, these all are the languages which are not built up from scratch. They are the combination of Java, TypeScript, and then little bit from the Python syntax, and then clubbing them together and forming a new language. Like that, only Google did it with Go language, right? So the grounded languages were C or COBOL or Pascal or QBasic. All those languages were grounded. So that's why the totally grounded languages are like JavaScript and TypeScript